Right, so let's talk about the collapsing propaganda networks that are the mainstream media in Britain. Tom Swarbrick is a fairly regular chap. He has had a pretty normal career going through the British media. As you can see, he joined the BBC in 2009 as a producer and presenter on local radio. He joined LBC in 2012. He presented his own show, and then he left LBC in 2016, became a part of the senior broadcast team in Downing Street. He was an advisor to Prime Minister Theresa May and then during the election of Donald Trump. Then he returned to LBC in 2018, presented a weekend breakfast show, and he's just been doing his drive time show, and he's doing various things. He's just covering things in a very, shall we say, centrist way. So a very normal, regime-approved kind of commentator. He's not a radical lefty or anything, but when you're in this kind of environment, you have to believe the rhetoric. You have to parrot the rhetoric all the time. And this is one of the reasons that people like Majid Nawaz and Nigel Farage got kicked off of LBC. They were like, well, hang on a second. And Tom has been having a few encounters with reality through the course of his job. So this was about 6 months ago, I think it was. Yeah, 6 months ago. He went to Birmingham to investigate the bin strike. And you could tell that his experience in Birmingham
Hello
made him
and
think.
Welcome to England's second city. This is the sight that greets you as you enter Birmingham these days. A bin strike that is now entering its second month, with emergency talks happening at the union today to try and get an agreement between them and the council to end the nightmare that a lot of residents have been having with, as you can see, mountains of rubbish. I mean, this is taller than me, this thing. This is going to be over 6 foot's worth of rubbish. Everywhere we've driven past since coming into the city from the train station has been filled on most street corners with this kind of arrangement. The smell, the place stinks. And of course, there's the issue of rats. I don't know if you can see in here, but you can get a pretty good example of what I mean. That's a hole in a bin bag created by a rat. There's holes all over the place. The rubbish has spilt out everywhere and no one's been doing anything about it for the best part of 2 months. This is what 6 weeks of bin strike looks like, at least on this road. The smell is, I'm going to go with fruity. It certainly hits the back of your throat pretty quick. And as you can see, this has been here for an age because you've got at least 8 deep, 6 high, what have you. And look, they've clearly been ripped open. I've got my trusty litter pick here. That's just eggs, just knocking around, glass bottles and everything. There's holes in the bin bags where the rats have been. Here you are. That's a classic. Come down here. My colleague was here a few days ago and pointed out that in one of the areas, you'll find a bin bag that has been ripped open by something or other with used nappies in it. And I can tell you that's used because I can smell it from here.
He is more detailed than he should be.
Yes, right. There's a kind of level of disgust that you can see that he's modulating his rhetoric, but this is clearly repugnant to him. And so he goes around to try and ask some people about this. Let's watch.
Trying to do business despite the bin situation. You can see the fruit and veg that is outside the shop being sold. One wonders whether that's a good idea, given all the rats. Just come to talk about the bins. How is it going? Not well.
No, very well. Too much rubbish. Last week was a fire here.
There was a fire. Yeah. What in the bin bags?
No, on the bin because the people, all people, they put the rubbish there and.
Oh, I see. And they set it on fire.
Yeah, it was big fire.
How long's it been like this?
Like nearly 1 month. 3 weeks.
3 weeks? 2 weeks? Yeah. And the smell, man. It absolutely stinks. Sorry.
Kids.
Yeah, terrible for kids.
Yeah, so much kids. I'm scared about my children.
You're scared about your children because of the health implications?
I'm scared to leave the door open. The kids is going inside.
Yeah. How old are your children?
7, 6 and 4, and I have my small daughter.
Oh.
Yes.
Well,
So as you can see, the sort of people around. This particular clip I've really enjoyed because he just wants to talk to the locals, and I don't know whether you've noticed there's a kind of ethnic profile on the locals. They're all foreign.
Come into the butcher's with me. Door open. Rubbish everywhere. Oh, hello, sir. You work in the butcher's, obviously, or are you just carrying around a sheep? Looks like a goat. So people are trying to do their job and go about with their businesses. You've got a greengrocers over there that's selling fresh fruit and vegetables outside. One wonders about whether the rats have had a good go at that. There's a butcher's next door, which has got the door open, and obviously there's produce being brought in all the time past the stinking, foul tip of rubbish that rats have been in, clearly, where there's discarded nappies everywhere. It's definitely not hygienic.
Right. So this is a very English response to this problem. He's very much understating what you can tell are his own levels of disgust. And he's noticed that it's a bunch of foreigners, probably don't speak English, some of them, and they have no concern for health and safety standards or hygiene or decency, and they're prepared to just throw their rubbish out in the streets. And he's like, right, okay, that's interesting. And so recently he's like, you know what? I'm not sure diversity is our strength, actually. And one can't help but connect these two things.
Diversity is our strength is a propaganda phrase. What do we mean by our? Who do we mean by our? Diversity of what? Diversity of thought? Diversity of background? Of education? What kind of diversity are we talking about here? Diversity is our strength. Strength shown how? A diverse investment plan might make you more resilient, but it also might not make you any money. A diverse football team needs ideally some taller players, some quicker players, some left-footed, some right-footed, but they've all got to be good enough to get in the team. Yet we've arrived at a situation where our differences alone are somehow enough to unite us. We are united through difference, apparently.
So this is so great, right? So basically, he's a regime man, and he has been his whole life, right? But you can see that even, where is it? This is a propaganda phrase, right? Yeah, exactly. This is a propaganda phrase, and you've parroted it your whole political career, your whole media career, and now you've gone and experienced it firsthand. You're like,
has he ever said it? I mean, he may be.
I'm not saying he
a sort of
personally
fellow passenger.
The point is, if you're in these environments, you consent to this, you know. But it's got to the point now where he's even like on air being critical. It's like, you know what, I have questions about the entire underlying premise of modern Britain.
Well, yeah, because it's just a slogan, not a very intelligent one,
yes.
And it has low correspondence to reality.
Yes,
and people are saying this. I've said it for some time. It's certainly a challenge. I mean, certainly wouldn't call it a strength. And but it's a bit like the old Soviet Union, isn't it? We talked about that earlier on. But it's a bit. They're in the. I don't know who does Keir Starmer's tweets. It can't be Keir Starmer because it looks like AI or something. But it just comes out with this slop all the time, and they'll just constantly say it. And the tactic is just to assert these things. They'll continue to assert it, and then people will continue to notice and say, "Well, actually, not really."
But it's got to the point where even reliable stalwarts at the LBC are like, you know what, guys, I'm not sure about this diversity.
Do you think Emily Maitlis is ever going to say?
Well, that's the question. Tom is just a fairly regular person, it seems, working his way through the system. Emily Maitlis is a foot soldier.
Yes,
she's a true believer.
But people, friends in academia, this system is embedded, and I always say, when's it going to change? And the consensus we've come to is that it goes on until there are any consequences borne by those. And what he's seen is consequences. And the problem is that the people spout this fluff don't really come into contact. They have no connection with reality. Most British people are living in cities, are living with these challenges. They don't.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't touch them.
I mean, half the country doesn't believe diversity is a strength.
No. And you've got people like Heseltine turning up. He's got an 80-acre estate. He's got no purchase to anything.
So for anyone wondering, Michael Heseltine had a nice puff piece write-up in the Times the other day where he complained that Nigel Farage was a fascist because his politics is of them and us, and he did this from his palatial estate in a 98% English area,
yes,
where he's tending his trees that are his greatest legacy. And
Billy Bragg's the same.
It's incredible.
Billy Bragg was from a particular part of London. Doesn't live there now. He lives over here, doesn't he, somewhere?
I don't know.
I think so, yeah. But anyway, that's the point. It's the hypocrisy. We've seen it somewhere.
Yeah. As though diversity is our strength is not us and them against those who don't want diversity.
But the thing about this, what I love about this, he's like, no, diversity is our strength. It's a propaganda term. It's like, yes, that's correct. From who, Tom? For what purpose, Tom? Who is making you, you're sat in this institution that is proudly diversity is our strength. The whole raison d'etre is diversity is our strength. Yeah. And now you're like, okay, I think that's a propaganda phrase. I'm not sure I agree with that.
So Carl, give us a prediction. What do you think will happen, Tom?
Well, It depends.
What's going to happen to Tom?
The thing is, right, Tom is married with kids, right? So now there are basically two directions he can go. He can say, you know what, he'll get a quick mention from his producer, like, you sure you sound a bit far right there, Tom, because you are actually. And the question is, Tom, do you keep questioning and end up going down the rabbit and going, yeah, no, I think this is actually being used as a weapon against us. Why are we part of an organisation that's propagandising the BBC, the British public, to think that diversity is a strength when I know that's obviously not true? To what end is that being done? Or you can go, you know what, I've got a mortgage to pay for. I've got kids who are in school. I'm not going to send them to a normal crappy school. I'm an LBC host. I send them to a private school. I don't know if he sends them to a private school. I'm just going to assume. But the point being, he's got bills to pay. He's got people relying on him. So to say, well, you know what, I'm actually going to just keep my mouth shut. Maybe diversity is our strength, actually.
It depends partly who's listening to this, isn't it? I mean, occasionally I tune into James O'Brien for sort of comic uplift, you know, just to listen to it for a few minutes. I've got friends that do that. Who it's the best comedy you'll ever get listening to that. But maybe the channel should have some breadth, you know. Well, Nick Ferrari.
It does have some, but you can see that's been narrowing in over the years. I mean, there was, what's her name? Sanjita Muska?
Yes.
Yeah, she was fired for questioning Israel, basically.
Yes, yeah.
And then you had, Majid Nawaz and Nigel Farage, who were fired for being, Farage pro-Brexit and just being sceptical of the predominant narratives.
Ian Dale's still there. Yeah.
Well, Ian Dale.
Yeah, I know. Right.
Bloody hell, man. You know, Ian Dale, like, his sensible interventions are long in the rearview mirror at this point, aren't they? You know, he's become exactly the kind of woke Tory that we've seen for quite a while. But the point is, Tom has hit on what is essentially the foundation stone of the prevailing liberal ideology. Is diversity our strength? And if diversity is not our strength, then maybe something else is our strength, actually. And it's this particular question that actually leads you down the path of becoming far right. Becoming someone who's against the regime in total. And so basically, you are right. Which one does Tom go for? He's got a question that he has to answer.
Well, maybe they'll answer it for him. That was the point I was getting at.
Well, I don't think he's going to get Mike Graham'd yet. I don't see him getting hacked after a few beers on a Friday evening or whatever and being like, why is this happening? But he's began asking the right question. And
he has phrased it in a way, though, that is open to lots of interpretation, because he's just asking questions.
Yeah, he's not stupid.
Respect.
He's not
so, he could always turn it around and say, no, it is this particular kind of diversity the regime wants that is our strength as supporters.
Well, he says diversity of what? And the answer is, of course, race. That's the kind of...
And culture.
Or
practices.
Mostly it's
cultural
like...
practices.
Sure.
Yeah.
It is our strength, but tell us what our strength is.
Exactly. It's a strength. But he's at, who's we? That's a great question, Tom. You know, is we the British public? Well, probably not. It's probably not a strength to have a bunch of foreigners dumping their rubbish in the streets with all the rats around. But then you've got to ask yourself, well, who is the we, and am I a part of the we? Because I'm not sure you are, Tom, actually. You know, you're a normal English bloke with a family. Do you feel like you're included in that we? I'm not sure you are.
I don't think he was included in that area.
Well, no, the we of diversity is our strength.
Yeah.
Like, it's... I think he's coming to the conclusion that maybe that's not me and my family, actually. Maybe that's someone else in their families. So anyway, like I said, it's fun little bit for me, because I always like watching the glimmer of light.
Reality bites.
Yeah, exactly. The reality biting people who themselves are ensconced in the ivory tower and don't really have to deal with any of these problems. Well, you know, am I being lied to? Am I being propagandized? So yes, you are. For anyone who's curious about the Birmingham bin strike, by the way, it's still going on. It's this was from October. They're thinking about just making a bunch of the bin workers redundant, because why would you need them? And the issue is, of course, perennial. It's disgusting. It's just everywhere. It's gross. It's really foul. And apparently the question of the finance of the council is on the table. Now, I haven't looked into this in any great depth, but the council claimed that they had been made bankrupt and therefore they can't pay the bin men what the bin men are asking for. And the council have said, no, we can't do that. And various finance experts have come and gone, no, this is just mismanagement. What are you talking about? And okay, I can believe that. But I'm not going to make a big deal of that here. But right.
It used to be, under Joe Chamberlain, people used to come from around the world to see how the civic organisation management was undertaken.
What changed in Birmingham?
Well, quite a lot.
If you would like to watch the full uncut version that is also uncensored, head on over to lotuseaters.com to find out more.